Hello, welcome to Horns Up. This time we're coming to you from Juhu in Bombay. Peter, what are we doing in Juhu?
So we're at the Demonic Studios. Some of you who are at least familiar with the Indian metal scene would know music that was recorded here and have heard music recorded here.
And of course, we are in the Demonic Studios because we've been let in by the guy who owns and runs Demonic Studios. So welcome to the podcast, Sahil, or Demonstealer.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Yeah, for a lot of people who are listening in or who are not familiar with the Indian metal scene, if you just look up the Demonstealer, Sahil Makhija, you'd kind of know all the stuff that he's been involved in. A lot of bands that we will talk about, will not talk about on this podcast. But yeah, most notably Demonic Resurrection and of course his solo project, Demonstealer.
Yeah, everyone's been in the studio thanks to that now.
Yeah, but for at least people like me growing up, Sahil was one of the, if you could call, the gateway or the...
Yeah, man, same from, that's my story too. I still remember meeting him near Mahalakshmi temple. Do you remember that?
I very
Vaguely.
I used to work at Vadia's, so it's quite
Correct,
possible
yeah.
that I ran into you around.
Yeah, you asked me to meet you at Vadia's and you had got done early. That was the time when there were no mobile phones.
Right.
Wow.
So
This is a long time ago.
This is a very long time ago, and for some reason I did not take a cab, and I was walking from Mahalakshmi, and I see this dude walking away. He fits who Sahil looks like, because I just asked him, how do I recognize you, and he said, I'll be in a metal tee.
Wow, this was back in the day when you could actually say that.
Yeah, and that's how we met outside Mahalakshmi station, and I bought for the princely sum of 50 rupees. I bought the Demonstealer first record from you.
Oh, wow, yes. Still selling CDs 19 years later.
So this is a throwback for all of you.
Yeah.
But I think I must mention this on the podcast, and I think I did in the episode 0. For those of you who remember or don't, Sahil is the one that actually introduced me to my wife back in the day, 12 years ago, at Raspberry Rhinoceros, of all places at a metal gig. So yeah.
Making dreams come true since 1999.
All right.
But yeah.
But we're not going to talk about nostalgia today. It's
Yeah.
not about reliving the past this time around on Horns Up. We'll probably come back and invade Demonic Studios at a later time to do that. So why are we here today then? Once again, let me ask you that same question, Peter.
So today we're doing something different. For those of you who enjoyed the All A's album and Verses also that we did, here's something new. We're calling it Metal or Not. Now, it makes sense to have someone like Sahil, who kind of, for most people, is the metal person in India. So it's great to have him on this episode. But what we're doing is we're just kind of putting a structure to the discussion that most people have had, is when you listen to a certain band, is this band metal? Is it really metal? But you know, those riffs, those lyrics, really? So we're using 4 simple criteria to choose whether a band is metal or not. First, the album artwork. Second, their sound, which encompasses their riffs and everything else. Lyrics. And the last thing is overall, what does that band really give you the vibe or feel? Is it a metal band?
Okay, cool. So, and just to help people out here, if you're picking a band, we're going through their entire discography?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Which bands have you thought of?
I thought we'll keep it a little surprise, and since we've not discussed this, 3 of us, let's take it band by band.
Sure.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
All right. So the first one, let's kick it off. This is the band I've had a lot of debate over the years with people.
Okay. Have we talked about it before on the pod?
I probably think so, man.
Okay.
Not sure. Trying to jog my memory quickly, but no. Alice in Chains.
Ooh.
Now, I've had a lot of debate with people that, you know, if it was a different era, if it was a different time, they wouldn't have really got looped in as a grunge band. But I thought it would be interesting just to discuss it with you, of course, because we have very different tastes and things like that, but also with Sahil, a band like this. So, yeah, to start off with Alice in Chains, album artwork.
I don't think I've actually seen any of the album covers.
Alright, so Alice in Chains album artwork. We have a lot to actually see here and to visualize here, because there are two eras of the band, right?
Yeah.
So you have the classic era, which is like Dirt and Facelift and Jar of Flies and Jar of Flies and all of that. And then you have the recent stuff where The Devil Knows Dinosaurs are here.
Yeah, Rainier Forest.
Rainier Fog.
Fog?
Yeah, Rainier Fog, etc. Overall, to sum it up, I don't think the album artwork is metal enough. Like, when you picturize or when you say the word metal, the first thoughts aren't exactly what you would see or what you would visualize Alice in Chains album covers to be.
Yeah.
It doesn't hit that mark. That's not to say that there aren't some metalish, if that's even a word, metallic. Yeah, there aren't some metallic gems here. Like The Devil Knows Dinosaurs are here. That could very well be like, I could see like a band like Deaf Haven or something pull off that kind of an artwork.
Yeah.
I could. But that's about it. The Rainier Fog artwork reminds me of a Gojira.
Yeah, they
album.
kind of go that way.
Yeah, it kind of looks similar to that sense. But that's all the latter era stuff. It's the second wave of Alice in Chains. It's not the classic era stuff.
For me,
classic era stuff doesn't look like
I think the only
album
metal
artwork.
from the Lane era is Jar of Flies. I think that's the only like metal kind of one you have.
Which is the one with the three-legged dog?
The self-titled one.
That's the self-titled one. Again, that's not a metal album cover at all.
I mean, if you pick it up, like the criteria, I'd look at it from here is, say you walked into a Rhythm House or Planet M back in the day. Would that album be one of those things that grab you when it's sitting on the shelf? Would you pick it up first?
Just because you think that it would be a metal album? No.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, none of the album covers look metal at all. It all looks very rock and roll, grungy. In fact, some of this stuff looks like it's downright stoner. Like I'm expecting
it's more on that
this
lines,
dinosaur cover. I'm expecting like some full-on techno and rave to hit me, like pop an acid pill and just like trip out.
But yeah, I think so. The only thing I was also quite intrigued with the cover of Dirt.
Okay.
Where I was like, what is it exactly? And so surprisingly, when I was reading, actually, I should say, unsurprisingly, they actually had a lady like buried under dirt in a.
See,
in a
that's
studio.
metal.
That is the only thing. I was
Why
like,
is
what?
metal equal to cruelty? Like bury a lady, that's metal. Fuck yeah.
No, it doesn't have to be the lady. It could be anything. But that act of burial and taking a photo of that.
Very black metal. Yeah.
It's very
Like
black
they couldn't have like done it with. I mean, can you think of any other band that would have done something like this?
Yes, many. The thing
Many,
is, how many
exactly.
of us have explored what other artists are actually doing beyond the metal space? Like you're doing this because you're researching Alice in Chains, right?
Yeah.
But what do we know about other bands that are less mainstream, that are not playing metal, that have album covers that are, outrageous? Like, have we seen those covers? Have we sort of deep dived into what has gone into those covers? I mean, I don't know, like, which, for example, I'm sure there are some pop stars as well that have had controversial covers, and I'm sure there's a story behind it that we don't always get to know, So, I don't know, I think like, oh, look at this one, Enigma sucking in a snake. Come on, look at that. I don't know if it's
I'm wondering why Sahil has Enigma.
No, I just looked for Lady Gaga album covers. I figured she would be one possible pop star. So this is a fan art basically. But the point being is she has actually taken a photo where she's swallowing a snake.
Okay.
That's as metal as burying
Correct,
a lady in
that
dirt.
is. This is.
So technically the point being that I don't think that really defines like the effort that goes into making a cover.
Of course, we are not judging the effort that goes into the cover or the significance of the art. We're just trying to the layman question here is, looking at the album artwork, do you think that's a metal band?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think any of us would have picked it up, gone like, oh, this looks like a really great metal band.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think
that's a unanimous no.
Unanimous no.
Yeah, unanimous no.
All right.
Stop trying to sell it, Peter.
Next one. Sound.
I'd have to go with a strong no on this one.
Oh, why the strong no?
Because it's grunge. It's straight up grunge. So I'll be honest. I haven't like gone through every single Alice in Chains song, But whatever I've heard over the years, in fact, I've even covered an Alice in Chains song with
Which one?
Kiski Monkeys.
Oh,
Wood.
lovely. Wood.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
But I would argue that Wood is quite. I mean, if you listen to that intro and stuff like that,
it's not metal, it's grunge. It's and they are the pioneers or the forerunners of that entire movement, right? They were the.
I think they got unnecessarily classified with the grunge movement as such. But however, my point of view on this is, Alice in Chains could be seen as the proto stoner sludge doom kind of a sound. If we classify Led Zeppelin
Right.
to be proto metal,
I
don't know how
never
many
used
people
this
do
word
that.
proto. First of all, when classify, what the hell is proto?
okay,
pre-metal,
pre-metal.
You mean like the sort of pioneers to.
Yeah, pioneers like
predecessors too.
which
Predecessors
is that
to.
band that Blue
Oh man,
Blue Cheer.
Blue Cheer.
Blue Cheer, right? You've heard Blue Cheer?
No.
Okay. So Blue Cheer has a very
Godzilla, the most popular song by them.
There's I thought you were talking about the movie soundtrack or something. Godzilla the band. No, fuck,
No,
I've
no.
never
So
heard this
Blue
word.
Cheer, Blue Cheer is essentially like it's fuzzy and sludgy Led Zepp before Led Zepp became big.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
Am I right
Yeah,
in
that's a
saying that?
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Blue Cheer, I can see or I can hear some of Blue Cheer in Alice in Chains. Maybe that's why I feel like Alice in Chains doesn't really classify as grunge to me because I associate grunge with Nirvana.
Yeah, but that's a very narrow.
Exactly, it is a very narrow this thing.
View
And-
of grunge to say. Like,
yeah, and
It's
and
like
I
saying
think-
if I listen to System of a Down, I don't hear new metal.
yeah, but that's the thing, right? The band itself has managed to create a sound that
Correct, but it's still
that
from that
goes
wave.
beyond what the stereotypical image of grunge is.
True, but I still think Alice in Chains does not deviate enough to be a metal. I mean, the moment you go hi, 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 like fuck off, dude. That's not metal.
I think we just heard Sahil cover a bit of Alice in Chains for us.
I don't know which song that is also, but
Man in the Box.
you know you're not you may be listening to a better grunge band, a high quality
yes, it's
grunge
a better
band.
grunge band, yes.
You know, not
On
the
that point, I will agree with you.
Huh.
I don't think it's metal,
yeah.
but it's definitely hard rock. It's
For sure.
definitely heavier than grunge is.
Yeah, and it's probably even like the more sophisticated grunge, if you have to call it that. You have a little cup of tea and listen to Alice in Chains, while the
think
little
more like-
little grungers are drinking their Coke and listening to Nirvana.
Wow, I think this is the only time I've heard anyone describe Alice in Chains like that.
yeah.
But when I was going through their discography, I mean, of course, Sahil spoke about Wood, but like if you listen to like Them Bones and stuff like that, or even like some of their recent stuff, I mean, of course, we are focusing more on the early era of the band. But if you look at some of the stuff they've done recently, like Check My Brain or on their last album, Never Fade, the riffs wise, it's there. I mean, of course, subject matter, they are, because when I was reading their lyrics, but yeah.
Okay, so let's break it down again. In terms of instrumentation, it's probably in the lines of, say, sludgy, that kind of a space, like Clutch. I don't know if you would classify Clutch as a metal band.
Yeah,
Would
Clutch
you?
metal.
I wouldn't, but it
Yeah.
is in that space.
Okay.
That sonic sphere is there.
Yeah.
Okay. It's the vocal lines and the harmonies
Yeah.
that don't make it metal for me. Because the vocal lines are not metal enough,
Yeah.
or not metal at all.
So I'm guessing this is
Is-
another unanimous.
No, for me,
no,
Alice in
why?
Chains is completely non-metal. It could be sort of slotted into the hard rock genre, or
It's definitely heavier than normal grunge.
yeah, but it's not metal.
It's not metal. Okay, cool. Yeah,
Okay.
I can live with that. It's not metal for me too.
But it's
Although-
a band that metalheads like.
Yeah, it's a
Right.
band that metalheads like because it acts as a very good palate cleanser when you're done listening to 34 hours of double blast beats.
I still wouldn't listen to Alice in Chains.
What would you listen to? Enigma, this thing.
No.
No, Enigma. No.
Son.
I have other, but I'm
whatever.
okay, yeah,
Okay.
with unlimited death metal. Keep the
And-
blast beats going.
Yeah. And I think it's a good way to kind of segue into the next part, which is I kind of understand where metalheads kind of want to listen to this stuff is the lyrics.
Okay.
Now, if you kind of go through the lyric sheet of most of Alice in Chains, especially the Lane era, this is some pretty depressive stuff, man. Like, I'm just kind of reading through the lyrics and wondering that if you had it to completely different music, like far more distorted or downbeat kind of music, because if you look at their Dirt album, it has a lot of references to drugs, suicide. I mean, come on, one of the tracks is called Junkhead. So if you look at it from that way, and contrast it to the recent era, which is a slightly more up-tempo, and it's just like
I don't think it's up-tempo, but it's more upbeat.
Upbeat, yeah. And there's a lot repeated lyrics, so it's more poppy in a way, their lyrics.
Yeah.
With their recent era. So, when I went through their lyrics, not really metal for me, man.
I'm glad you say that, because that's exactly my opinion too. The lyrics are not metal. They would, I don't know, like what era of metal or what sound or what genre of metal, no matter what you classify it as, doesn't seem. It's personal for sure. It's real. It's drawn in reality, of course, but it's not the kind of reality metalheads generally look out for in lyricism or escapism, in that matter. It's not escapist at all.
I haven't read actually much of their lyrics, so I have no clue, but I'm assuming whatever subject, if it's whatever you guys are talking about, I'm sure that's there in metal. But again, I think lyrics are contextual. Like you
Correct.
can have he could have been singing Cannibal Corpse lyrics, it would still not make it metal because it's set to a certain kind of music, in my opinion.
Okay, so wait, before we round off Alice in Chains, right, there's still one thing to go, right?
Overall.
Overall. Okay, so now that we're looking at Alice in Chains as an overall band, here's my perspective on it. My favorite Alice in Chains album is the Unplugged album.
I don't want to add more because I know where you're going with this.
Right? It's the Unplugged album, and why? Because that performance is fucking magical.
Yeah.
There's no better Unplugged gig in the world. Like, at least to my ears, I haven't heard that. It's raw, it's real, it's...
and I think that's, if I'm not mistaken, one of his last performances live
it
also.
was, and it manages to capture that whole the vibe that Alice in Chains is known for, that you can put it on and just lose yourself in that slight depressive yet managing to give you some amount of hope at the end of it. That artistic quality that band has, it's best shown on an Unplugged album.
Yeah.
Which means they write awesome songs. Okay, which means the music is awesome, but it's not metal. So unfortunately, Alice in Chains, not a metal band, still one of the best bands in the world.
I think you kind of encapsulated it well, because I was also going to add, and while I was kind of preparing for this, I went through the Unplugged album and I was like, wow. Like, I don't really know why you'd want to listen to their other albums.
Exactly, yeah.
Because that's such a great representation of that era, of course, of the band. So
Sahil?
I'm sure I've heard that album, but I think I need to listen to the Unplugged album again.
Dude, you have to check it out again.
I've heard it for sure, but obviously I heard it when I was much younger, and I think I dismissed it like I dismissed everything non-metal at the time. And I guess Alice in Chains is not a metal band, but they have some metal lyrics. Like, I just opened up Down in a Hole. The first line itself, bury me softly in this womb. Like, that could be fucking first line of a Cannibal Corpse song.
Bury me softly in this womb.
If you take the lyrics and you put it to a complete different music set, it is actually quite...
It
can be.
With all the... Because if you look at it like... I mean, I'm going at a stretch here, but if you read some of the stuff of the lyrics of Dirt, put that with like some depressive, suicidal black metal kind of...
We can also do that to Lady Gaga, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, you can literally take anyone's lyrics. I think metal...
I saw Aladdin yesterday, and there's a song in it. I'm sorry, but the movie is fresh in my mind. There's a song in it by which is picturized on Princess Jasmine. It's a new song. It's not there in the animated one. So it's a complete, like, female empowerment. Yeah, I'm going to leave everybody speechless or something of that. Those lyrics with music like Typo Negative would still work.
There's always a metal band singing about something.
Exactly.
That a more commercial band is singing about.
I'm gonna not start here because I think it's gonna kind of seep in this discussion to the next band
Okay.
that we're gonna talk about.
All right. So wait 1 second. Just to be clear, album artwork complete no. It's a unanimous no.
Yes.
Music, it's a complete no.
For me at least,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Lyrics.
To a
Still a
certain
no.
extent.
Still a no
It's a
because
no from me. It's a no from Sahil.
I would say yes.
You would say yes. All right. So the first division over there, and overall, I would say no.
I would say no
Sahil
as well.
says no.
Yeah.
So Alice in Chains, you're not a metal band.
Sorry, guys.
But it's okay. You're still very special.
Yeah.
Consolation prize.
So it's great you mentioned that, Animesh, because you were talking about Aladdin, because this kind of segues into the next band.
Fuck, I think I know what's coming.
Yeah. So here we go.
Based in Japan.
Yep.
Oh, fuck you.
Babymetal. And since we had just this discussion, let's not go with album artwork first, but let's go into the lyrics of Babymetal.
Right.
Sahil, have you heard Babymetal?
I have heard Babymetal. I have seen them live as well. And
Holy shit, yeah?
I think
yes,
you need to
I
take.
have.
I think you need to take the start on this one.
The funny thing is, I've never checked out their lyrics.
What?
Give me
never-
chocolate.
Right.
Doki Doki Chocolate Morning.
Okay. So I've
Whatever you understood.
I'm not a fan of the band, so I've not really recollected much of their stuff, but I've seen all of it and I've seen them live. So again, I think with lyrics, from the way I see it, is it's the setting of the lyrics that make a difference. Anything can be a metal lyric in my books. Even, like whatever, fucky chocolate, whatever.
fucky.
I mean, there are enough.
You just took Babymetal, which is PG-13, not even PG-13, which is UA, and made it like R-rated. The girls will come out and kill you.
Right.
Next time you meet them at a gig, they
Yeah,
go
I like
you.
I'm pretty sure there's a grindcore band somewhere reading out the instructions at the back of a Pantene bottle as their lyrics. So for me, yeah, it's metal because of where it comes from, the sort of music it's put to, and in the whole package, it works as a metal lyric for me.
Okay.
It's
Cool.
just someone taking the piss at it,
Yeah. So okay. Are we doing lyrics?
Yeah, I think
Specifically?
let's start lyrics with.
As Sahil said, it can be. I mean, as a lyricist or as a songwriter, you're allowed that creative liberty to essentially pen anything you want and turn it into a good enough this thing. And wait, 1 second. Let me clarify here. Unlike other forms of music, in metal, the role of the vocalist is not just to say out lyrics,
Yeah.
right? It's almost used as an instrument too, to add one more layer of, I don't know, whatever, texture or whatever you want to call it. So a lot of times, metal vocals, it's more for the sound rather than for the actual content of what he's saying. For a band like Babymetal, it makes it even tougher, or it makes that separation as such, or examination of the lyrics even easier, because I don't fucking understand what they're saying.
I actually looked it up.
Yeah, I think the instrument part is more true of extreme metal, where growling is kind of the main vocal.
Yeah.
This thing. I don't think for like a Judas Priest, you're looking at a vocal line as the lyric, like a texture or an additional instrument. With Judas
Sometimes,
Priest, it's a
man.
melody. It's all melody.
Yeah, it's all melody.
it's
Correct,
all
correct,
it's
correct.
all hooks. It's all actual singing
It
that's
makes
meant
you want
to be
sing along,
exactly.
but you remember it not for the lyrics. Maybe you remember it for the vocal.
Of
hook.
course you do. Who doesn't listen to Priest and Maiden and not remember the lyrics?
You know what I'm trying to say is you end up remembering it because of the way it's structured in the song. You don't remember. You don't like artistically say, "Oh man, what a good lyric."
Of course
Like,
you do.
Fear of the dark, fear of the.
Yeah, but then okay,
uh,
what music do you actually listen and say, "Oh, what a good lyric"? You only do
Rabindranath
that.
Sangeet.
Huh?
Rabindranath Sangeet.
Okay, that music I don't listen to.
No, but I get where both of you are coming from, and if I may continue with the trend
Or
of
Bob
thought we
Dylan
had.
stuff.
Oh, yeah.
For
Yeah, that's only to distract from his whiny voice.
whatever. I mean, come on. Like there are musicians who preach with their music, and there are musicians who, and there's music which you.
Yeah, but you
which
still
may not be preachy, but
yeah, but you
you
still
just enjoy it
listen to
because
the
it's good
lyrics.
music.
I mean,
Yeah,
you still
listen to the lyrics.
like in
You enjoy
Cannibal
it.
Corpse, you're not listening to the lyrics at all. It is literally an instrument till you go to the booklet and try and
start
figure out what
reading
he's
it.
saying.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so
So
Anyways,
one of
yeah.
the things I did while looking up, because in at first listen or the first few listens, you're like, "Give me chocolate," and then you just hear, the
Na, na,
vocals,
na,
and
na,
then
na,
yeah.
na,
So
na.
you're just like, yeah, whatever. And then I looked up, what their lyrics are, and while most of their songs are in Japanese, but when you go deeper into it, a lot of the issues that they focus on are stuff like related to young girls, acceptance, standing up for oneself. Hence, what you were talking earlier about Aladdin, and it makes sense why Babymetal kind of have taken or reached where they are in a way, because for the people who are really into their music and have kind of made a connect with their music and what they're saying. So while most of us are like, hey, whatever, saying, give me chocolate.
It's gimmicky party music.
Yeah, it seems
Right.
like,
Yeah.
and that's initially what I felt also while
Yeah.
listening to Babymetal. Or it's just the image also that has been kind of packaged for them in a way, which may or may not be the deal. But since you were talking about the Aladdin thing, I thought it's great to start off with the lyrics. So
Yeah, that's actually good to know that
Yeah,
there's,
that's great to
there's
know,
a lot
man.
of depth beyond the hook of the
Yeah,
song, so
yeah.
to speak.
Yeah, that's
So-
actually
So
great.
Now
that
that
makes
we
it
hear.
more metal then.
yeah, so okay, so you're saying yes for it
I
being
said
metal.
yes at the beginning. I'm still saying yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
So we're in unanimous that at least their lyrics wise. Let's go into now back to their album artwork.
Right.
Babymetal album artwork is it is metal. It is metal, okay,
Yeah.
and that's because of the entire image of
Yeah.
that band and the bands that they've cultivated for themselves.
And I
Not
love their
cultivated,
logo,
but
man.
it's constructed, right?
I mean, their logo,
it's very meticulously
Yeah.
planned that they need to look metal.
Yeah, and
Right?
you know what? It's one of those, unlike, like, say, other metal genres or things like that. They've made like their logo legible, but still kind of with that metal font and stuff like that.
Yeah. The only problem I have with Babymetal artwork is that it looks too much like contemporary modern American metal album artwork.
Yeah.
Dude, this is so metal.
Yeah. No. I'm like, have you seen the latest song, which
Yeah,
is
yeah,
what
yeah.
Starlight?
Starlight
Star-
Distortion. Yeah.
But what's the
Starlight
album?
Distortion. It's a single.
Single, it's a
It'll be-
single, yeah.
They have a new album coming out in 2019. I'm guessing it'll be on that.
Right.
But just typography.
Yeah.
It is metal. It's definitely metal, but it's popular metal.
Yeah. I mean, we can be purists.
I wouldn't wear it on a t-shirt, but is it metal? Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Sorry?
definitely metal. I mean, whatever
Okay.
I'm seeing online, since I had to Google search because I've never ever actually seen the album covers.
So we've got a unanimous yes for that. Sound, riffs. You want to take a stab
it's
at
seen
it?
metal.
them live.
It's metal, dude. There is
Did you
no
see them live with the band of theirs, or
with the
were
full
they
band.
Yeah, yeah.
with
No,
the full
I
band?
don't think they performed without the band.
No, so here's the thing. When Babymetal started out performing, they used to perform with a click track, karaoke.
But the thing is,
But then
huh.
later on, they decided that the band itself was what was actually
But as
needed.
far as I understand, is that this is a band that has started and that has put these three girls as the front. The band was, or there's a composer at least who's
Yeah.
basically
Yeah.
in the band.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe the karaoke was initial, but I've never seen that version of it. I don't even think anyone in the
What was the
outside
crowd
Japan
response?
has
I'm
seen
quite
crowd loved
Where
it.
did
dude.
you see it?
I saw them in UK. I think it was Sonosphere Festival.
Oh,
I
fuck,
mean, they
awesome.
are absolutely fantastic live. They have a huge following. They are selling out venues. I mean,
Dude,
it's a
they I think if I'm not mistaken, they opened for Maiden also, right?
They opened for Maiden. They've opened for Judas Priest. They've had Dragon Force come and write songs with them. They've had Dragon Force performing on stage with them.
yeah, because they're like such a unique offering to the world of metal that is constantly looking for something new. You know.
Right. So
Correct. Yeah.
What's
And
your
it's a
take?
metal band, full on. Like there's double bass, there's chugga chugga chugga, and I mean just no growling.
That band, I forget what they are called. Kabuki band or I don't know. There's some word for that band itself. Okay, that band is fucking awesome to watch.
Yeah,
I mean,
dude.
you can just remove the vocal tracks and instrumental wise, they're really nice and tight, and
Yeah.
there's improvisation happening. There's new stuff being done slightly.
I can't remember if I messaged you when I heard the latest single that they put out, Starlight. I think it was Starlight or Distortion, one of them there, because they came out with all three singles together. It is fucking heavy, dude. Like I was
Yeah.
like, whoa. I'm wondering where their new direction is going to be like, because if that's an indication.
I think it's pretty clear, like from the outset, Babymetal was designed as what happens when metal meets pop, or when metal meets J-pop.
Yeah.
Okay, that was the question that kind of triggered the entire movement off. The fact that they've managed to do it right, the fact that they've managed to spawn off clones, the fact that they've managed to grow so big, is because something is right about the music, and that is beyond the gimmick factor.
Yeah.
Right? So, is it metal music? Definitely it is.
Agree.
Definitely it is.
So here we have another unanimous yes for metal, and overall, I think we kind of.
Overall, I have to say this, I love the world that they've built. The story is, the Babymetal story is, there's Megitsune, which is, I think, their fox, okay, the
Right.
big fox or something. The big fox needs this music to basically exist so that people can find their true selves or something of that sort.
Right.
And he's found these three Babymetal vocalists. Whatever their names are, they all have suffixes as metal.
Right.
Sui metal,
So, yeah,
more
yeah, correct.
metal, and
Yeah,
some
yeah,
other
yeah.
metal, right? They are the carriers of that music, and they are the bringers of that sound to the world.
Right.
That's such a fucking metal concept.
That's what I'm saying. Trust the Japanese to do something absolutely like out there and like make it work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it completely works. So yeah, overall artistic vision, definitely Babymetal is metal.
So on all
It's
four
not
counts,
a gimmick. You can look beyond the gimmick; it's still metal.
Yeah, so album artwork, sound, lyrics, overall.
Yeah.
It's a resounding yes.
So horns up for Babymetal.
Horns up for
Horns
Babymetal.
Yeah. First horns up.
Oh my god! Wow.
Right.
Are we? No man. Okay, cool.
And the last band, because I think we're going to have a far more animated discussion around this one than Babymetal or Alice in Chains. It's Ghost BC. Call it what you want. Let's start off with the first criteria. Album artwork.
Right.
I think I'll take a stab at this first.
Okay, cool. Go for it.
While I Google it, yes, you take a stab.
Metal, man. Completely. There's no two ways about it. I mean, just looking at that and just, putting that criteria out there that I said earlier. If this was on the racks of any music store that I entered, it grabs you. It has this whole occult thing that they have going with their image. And I'll get to the image later when we're talking. But just looking at that font, looking at this, it has this like mysterious, alluring thing that, you want to pick it up and be like, okay, what does this band sound like? So yeah, definitely metal for me.
Sahil, do you want to have a stab at it first?
I think it is fairly metal, but is it it could also be like some fucking prog rock band kind of stuff, I don't know, I feel like it could be a proggish kind of artwork. Like you can see maybe a bit of Jethro Tull kind of influence there. In fact, that I'm looking at some Jethro Tull artwork right now, and it looks like, I can see where Ghost is getting its inspiration from. So, would Jethro Tull be considered as a metal band when you look at some of their artwork?
They did beat Metallica for a fucking
metal
Grammy or something.
Yeah. So, I would sort of be like, it's definitely interesting to see in a shop and possibly pick it up.
Yeah.
But does that make it metal? Maybe not, I think again with artwork and lyrics, it's very contextual,
Yeah.
Like as a metalhead, if I saw that and picked it up, I'd be very disappointed when I heard the CD.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So that's why we kind of like separated it all.
Yeah, but that's the thing. But can you separate it all? Because I know how they sound to me.
Oh, yeah.
I look at that artwork, I'm like, that's not particularly metal. It could be, it couldn't be. So I think a little undecided on this. It could swing either
I'm
way.
siding more with Sahil here. It doesn't define metal to me. It looks like the album artwork for a Ghost album. It's brilliant artwork. It's really good stuff. But to me, it's more OST to a horror movie than it is a metal album.
Yeah,
there is a very thin line
yeah.
between over there. If Alice Cooper or David Bowie decided to do an album of horror music, Ghost artwork could very well be their album artwork.
Okay, so we have 2 horns down to 1's horns up.
Maybe
Fuck you,
horns-
I'm not going to fucking do that anymore.
Horns somewhere in the
Horns
middle.
sideways,
Horns
horns in the
sideways,
middle.
we'll call it.
Horns sideways.
It's not a full
Horns-
down, it's just,
Yeah,
but it's not up either.
it's not up either.
Okay, so Mine is up.
Yeah.
Too much information,
Too
Peter.
much, yeah. TMI. Peter.
TMI happened.
Right. Sound, music. Want to take a stab at it, Animesh?
Okay, sure. It's not metal. Definitely. That's my outright umbrella opinion first. It's not metal. Is it hard rock? Definitely yes. Is it rock and roll? Definitely yes. It's not a metal sound because it's not heavy enough. Now, this is where context will come in. If you are the kind to classify, say, a Led Zepp as metal, if you think
White
Guns
Snake.
N' Roses is metal,
Yeah.
Whitesnake is metal, then is this metal? Yes, but that's not metal for me, or that's not metal enough for me. So unfortunately, Ghost isn't metal. They have some fucking brilliant riffs.
Yeah.
Especially the last album, Prequel, is definitely heavier than their previous outputs, and it leans more towards metal than it does towards maybe say Opus Eponymous.
Eponymous, yeah.
Yeah, Opus Eponymous and stuff did. And I am a Ghost fan. I've heard all albums. I keep revisiting them time and time again. I own a T-shirt. I used to own a T-shirt. I don't know fucking where it is. Yeah, but yeah, they're not a metal band for me. Is Kiss metal to you?
No.
Not really, no.
Not really.
Yeah, so similarly, Ghost isn't metal at all.
Yeah, I think I share a similar. In fact, so I had seen Ghost all over the internet. Like everyone was sharing Ghost, and it looked like, wow. I was like, what is that costume and what is that?
Yeah.
Like the band looks so cool, and then I played a song and I was so disappointed. It was the biggest letdown I think I've ever had. I was like, they look so metal and like evil and like, what the fuck is that music? Like, why are they sounding like that? But of course, once I got over that initial disappointment and did kind of hear some of their newer stuff, I did like a few songs, but they are so far from being a metal band. Like they like you said, it's in that hard rock space. You know, if you're going to call Guns N' Roses metal, then yeah, possibly
Maybe
Ghost
you can make a case for it. Yeah.
I think, you know, it's also because like Ghost, like I think so Judas Priest has a couple of album songs that are very
That
actually
are
not
borderline metal. Yeah.
yeah, they wouldn't really be metal, but because Judas
they're
Priest
Judas
has
Priest.
that, and not just the image, they've also had albums,
Correct.
a lot of
Yeah,
albums where
yeah.
they amped up the heaviness to proper metal. Like Painkiller is the obviously
yeah,
is the
yeah,
pinnacle of that. So you can sort of still consolidate it. You know, when you listen to say a band like Catatonia, honestly, if you listen to the new stuff of Catatonia, Anathema,
Even
or-
Opeth for that matter.
they're not really metal, but because they
Mastodon.
started out as a certain level of being a metal,
Or
band, and then kind of
yeah.
swayed into another genre, you still associate them with metal, even though if you look at the technicality of it, it's probably not metal that they're making now.
Correct.
But with Ghost, I don't think that's been the case. I've not checked all the albums, but I'm pretty sure that they
Check out
did have.
Prequel. It's the closest thing that
But
they
that's
have.
the new stuff.
That's the
Yeah.
new stuff.
So
Yeah.
it's, which is why also I think it doesn't really, at least maybe if the next album has some blast beats, you know, they'd start getting called metal.
Ooh, yeah. No, that's a very good. That's a very good point. I don't think I've ever heard a blast beat in a Ghost song.
No, and
I don't think I've heard a blast beat in a Pantera song either, but or a Metallica song. So, I mean, Metallica has some duta duta duta
Yeah,
duta,
yeah.
the skank beat. But
That's Laz's version of a blast beat.
yeah, I think just blast beats have become very commonplace now in modern metal as well. All these,
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
you know, breakdown bands that we have. So,
but yeah. Anyways.
like I was actually, when I was thinking about it, and I've been following Ghost from the last 8 years from the time they started out.
Yeah.
If someone introduced me to them as a hard rock band or something like that, I would have been fine with it. But then just the fact that they were introduced to me as a metal band, I had a very similar thing to Sahil, where I was like, wait, this is not metal band. Or, like even if you go back to their first album, Opus Anonymous, and you listen to the start, you're like, okay, there's a whole build up to it. And then
Yeah,
the
that
first,
yeah.
and then the first song hits in, you're like,
a
What?
wave of crushing disappointment.
yeah, it was kind of like that. You're like, okay, you were expecting a whole something different, or you know. Again, this is the context, because I've been listening to metal for so long, and you have something like, you'd expect it to be like an intro for a black metal band or something like that. But then when you hear that, and I think more than that, listening to Prequel, I'm glad you brought that up. For me, Prequel kind of reminded me of Opus Anonymous. Even though I didn't enjoy it at the start, that I felt from their 4 albums was their strongest prior to listening to Prequel.
Which is the album with rats.
Oh.
I like that song.
Yeah.
I
It's a
think
good
it's
song.
Prequel
Yeah,
itself.
It's not really a
yeah.
metal
Prequel,
song, but
prequel.
it's a great song.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's,
it's a great song. Yeah, Dance
So-
for Cabba, beautiful
Yeah.
song again.
Oh yeah, that's awesome,
That's
dude.
an
It's
awesome
such a
fucking
poppy song.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean, I think
I love that lyric in it, man. Gonna be with you, gonna
Be
be
with
with you,
be with
in
you.
the moonlight. Fucking awesome.
so. The way I look at it is, for us who've been listening to metal for a while, we may dismiss it, but think about somebody who's like not heard metal before. This is kind
This
of their
could be a
gateway.
gateway band.
Definitely.
To me, Ghost is today's the closest thing that we have to a Kiss. And even though they exist in the same timeline,
Yeah.
but what Kiss was back then,
yeah.
that's what Ghost is to me right
But I'm
now.
sure that with Ghost is then basically like what Nickelback is. Nickelback is also a gateway band. So is Linkin Park. These are all
but,
in the same.
but Nickelback doesn't have street cred. Ghost unfortunately has street cred.
Well, okay, yeah. So
I mean, think about it. You have bands like Metallica and everyone backing you in there. So
yeah, but I think like that way Nickelback, I mean, they may not have a street cred, but I'm sure it's one of those bands that people are quietly listening to at home and dissing online. Like, you look at their shows, you look at their sales.
The only Nickelback song I've repeatedly heard, and this was because I had access to Channel V and MTV, was that Spider-Man song.
oh my god.
Oh, I don't remember. So I actually like some of the new Nickelback stuff.
I haven't. I've
It's
never given.
actually they've
I'll be
actually
very
started
honest.
putting double bass and like chuggy riffs and all.
Really?
Yeah,
I've never given Nickelback a chance.
the
I
new
can't
stuff,
believe-
Feed the Machine and all, is really good,
they have
dude.
new stuff.
Dude, it's insane. That's what I'm saying. So Nickelback had that whatever sound back in the day when
Yeah.
they started out, that horrible country rock meets heavy rock kind of thing. But the new stuff, they've actually gone like like full
Sahil,
breakdown
I
vibes
think
and all.
I know what we're going to be listening to post this episode.
Yeah, you all got to check out the new Nickelback shit, dude.
On
It's,
the next episode, horns up, if metal or not.
yeah, you
Nickelback.
definitely got to bring Nickelback into this. And whoever's your guest, make sure that they listen to.
Dude, we'll come back and do this with you.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
You
You
sold
can-
us. You sold us on checking
Nickelback.
Nickelback out.
But moving on, lyrics.
No, wait. I want to continue
Sorry.
on Ghost music. We're still talking about music
yeah,
a
music,
bit, right?
music, still, yeah.
On Prequel on Prequel especially, they have that lovely saxophone edition in
Hmm.
2 songs,
Yeah.
right? On 2 songs. Their music overall, and let's look at what kind of stuff they do for their covers, right? They've covered ABBA, they've covered David Bowie, they've
Yeah.
covered I don't know who else, some obscure Swedish pop bands, right? That's the sound that they're going for. Also, I can definitely see that Ghost as a music act is wanting to be the mainstream chart buster as such of this sound.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what their vision is. That's what that Tobias Forge wants Ghost to be. They have a lovely gimmick. Okay, the music is better than the gimmick, but the gimmick is what's becoming the talking point or the introductory point for everyone to check out Ghost.
And their videos and
But
their
that's why I
keep
think
changing.
with any big band, right? Babymetal is also what? It's the gimmick that
No,
gets
correct,
you in to
correct,
check
correct.
out
Yeah.
what
I
exists.
I like that. I like the fact that Babymetal is very honest and upfront about it.
Even Ghost.
I don't.
I think
they're-
Ghost is like Game of Thrones. It's there to subvert expectations, you know? It's almost like you look at Ghost and you're like, shit, I'm getting like a death metal band or something, and then you're like,
I've
"What?"
never seen that. Okay, we'll talk about image eventually, but I've never seen that or never thought of Ghost as a metal band in terms of imagery.
But
at
when
all.
you look at it, I was like, Reptilian Death, hello.
Yeah, I get the costumes,
The
man.
fucking, it's the same costume.
But no, think of it this way. I'm coming to it from a point of Kiss did that.
Yeah, but
Alice Cooper did
But
that.
look at Kiss's makeup, first of all. It's like cats and stars and all, dude.
Yeah,
Ghost had
but-
that proper preacher with that full like a skull on his face. So it looked, at least when I saw it, it was like, oh man, that like there's that band Portal also, metal band
Portal
Portal.
did it, yeah.
Then there's some
Batushka,
or
Solar
whatever.
DT.
Solar D. Yes.
Yes.
Then Reptilian Death also.
Yeah,
I love-
Reptilian Death.
A Cult of Fire from.
Cult of Fire, yeah.
So that is a very metal costume. That whole the robes and that dark priest. Come on, it was not like they had a soft priest up there. They had like fucking priest with his face painted and like the
a
leader.
Pope, that imagery, yes.
the Pope,
the
and
Pope.
you expected that Pope to go, and instead he
I
went,
didn't.
"Rats."
I really didn't.
Okay,
There
well
was
I
some-
did.
There was okay. No, so I think it became to a point of there wasn't. When you see that being done by metal bands, there's a level of sincerity in it.
Okay.
Okay, I didn't see that in Ghost right from the beginning. Maybe because I'm looking at it as an out and out gimmick and not as, say, corpse paint, which defines black metal.
Right. But how did you? So for me, it was I'd never actually heard any Ghost. All I did was see people on Facebook posting Ghost this, Ghost that, Ghost
Ah.
this, Ghost that, and I'm seeing these pictures, and all the pictures to me look like, okay, fuck, this is some band trying to be really metal, and it looks like, wow, oh shit, somebody ripped off my Reptilian Death costume, you know. Like, and I've seen these other bands, whatever, Portal and all these black metal bands do this paint.
Yeah, they have.
So I was like,
yeah.
okay, some band has taken it into this slightly next level, you know. And when I heard it, it was like,
I think I heard the music first and then discovered the visual.
Okay.
yeah, see, that makes that will
That
make
makes a
all the
huge,
difference
yeah.
because
Yeah.
you know what the music is, so you're not expecting to see. Like, you may have been disappointed with the image expectation. You may have
Which
expected
is,
to
I
see.
think, what you're saying,
Yeah.
right?
I'm not disappointed with the image expectation.
But you didn't expect that
I-
particular
so,
gimmick.
Yeah, no, I wasn't expecting it to. I was expecting something of this sort. I was expecting to be on Kiss levels, which it is. Okay, I wasn't expecting it to be metal, and I
Okay.
think that's what that. And then
Fair
lived up
enough.
to
So
that.
that's what I
It's
mean.
not metal.
Subverting
Yeah.
expectations either way, right? Either
Yeah,
as you
yeah,
see
yeah.
the
Cool.
image and get this, like
Yeah.
it's like the Red Wedding in Game of Thrones.
Okay,
We
that
went to.
reference flew over my head.
Oh, no,
I've
Ned-
not
Ned
watched a
Stark's.
single-
Oh, you've not
Yeah.
watched. Okay, forget it.
Okay, that's enough Game of Thrones references.
That's enough jibber jabber from me.
Is Game of Thrones metal?
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
I'm on the fence with this.
I don't know, so I
I mean,
wouldn't.
but it's a
yeah.
TV show. It doesn't. There's no metal category there.
Sahil, there's your next band idea. Game of Thrones metal.
There already is actually. I'm a little late to the party.
Okay.
If there's Ned Flanders metal, then there has to be Game of Thrones
There are
metal.
enough bands
Okay.
already doing it.
So, where do we stand with the music?
Not metal for me.
Not metal for me.
Not metal for me either. So, it's a resounding
No.
No.
Yeah.
lyrics. I know we kind of
Lyrics, okay. Lyrics, yes, can be metal, but then again, it's in that context. I mean, they've got songs about Lucifer,
Yeah.
Satan, Asmodeus, Belial, all of these
Yeah.
guys, and these guys, baaju mein baithe hain types. No,
rats. They have music about rats.
but yeah, but
And the
but,
plague.
but yeah, rats and the plague and everything. It's metalish enough. So if I were to look at lyrics in isolation, maybe that could be paired off with a band with the sound of, say, even a Wasp. Yeah, if a Wasp were to provide the music
Yeah.
for those kind of lyrics, it would still work. Metal lyrics, yeah.
I'd say again very contextual, really. Like, it's, you know, how Chocolate Milkshake is a metal song 1 minute and next minute it's not. It's, I think with Ghost it's not metal because of the way they sound. You know, I mean, you can read it. I don't like them innocent. I don't want no face fresh. Want them wearing leather, begging let me be your taste test. Or you can have it like, I don't want them innocent. I don't want their face fresh. So it's
Sahil is
too contextual.
Sahil's next cover.
So I'm like the horns middle sideways.
Horns middle sideways.
Horns
For
sideways.
this- No. For me, metal lyrics, yeah. Sure.
Metal lyrics. I think it's two of us with metal lyrics because, I mean, if you think about it, that's where I'm looking at it. Just put it against any other band, with slightly heavier riffs and things like that.
Yeah, they would still work. They
Yeah.
don't need to be altered or anything of that sort.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Which leaves
And,
us with overall artistic vision or
Yeah.
overall band experience.
Yeah.
I think that'll be the major talking point. For me, they're not metal, but they will serve as one of the big gateways for people to discover metal. I mean, when you go into a Ghost concert, the fact that they're supporting Iron Maiden on the next in this
Yeah.
year, right?
Yeah.
You watch Ghost, you'll be pumped up for it, and then you watch Iron Maiden. Wow, you will love Iron Maiden after watching Ghost.
Do you think anyone who's going to an Iron Maiden concert is going there because they don't know Iron Maiden? It's like, let me go check out this Ghost and get warmed up for that next band that's coming on. I think it's more like if Ghost opened for Jennifer Lopez, you'd hear that and you go like, whoa, I want more of this.
Holy fuck! So yeah, very good point. Babymetal opened for Lady Gaga,
Right.
right? And I'm pretty sure Babymetal won
Absolutely.
fans.
Absolutely.
with
There's
Lady
no
Gaga.
doubt about it. In fact, Lady Gaga herself is quite the metal
Metalist,
listener.
yeah.
At least she likes the basic metal bands that are there.
So wait, so Babymetal is more crossover than Ghost?
I don't know. Maybe Ghost has just not got the opportunity. It's, you know, music business is not just like Ghost
Yeah,
can't
but
really
they've got-
wake up and say, hey, can I open for J-Lo? I mean,
No, but
You
they
know? Yeah, yeah,
compared.
yeah.
I think I don't know which label exactly, but compared to Babymetal, Ghost is on a major label. I
Yeah,
think
but
Sony
that's what I'm saying.
is-
It's never about what label you're on. It's about your connections, who your booking agent is, whether you want to buy on a slot somewhere. We don't know who's done what, right?
Correct.
You don't know if Babymetal toured for 5 years, saved up a shit ton of money, and opened for Lady Gaga by buying on a slot. Who knows? Maybe Lady Gaga just heard Babymetal and said, "Yeah, these little kids need my help." You know? Who
Yeah,
knows?
it could very well be that.
Maybe she
yeah.
heard Ghost and she's like, "Fuck, this sounds like rehashed shit, and I don't want to hear it." Babymetal is fresh, new, and innovative. Because Ghost is not doing anything new musically.
Yeah,
It's
Their
not,
music
yeah.
is a standard template of popular rock and roll music.
Yeah, it's very pop rock. It's very hard rock.
And I
Yeah.
think that for me overall what happens, because for me it was sold to me, or the whole thing was that it's a metal act. Hence I was like a little disappointed, like we talked earlier. But then, some of that music, if you just keep listening to it, comes back to you, and it is like hooky in a way.
It's very hooky music, man.
Yeah, so I think the way I also see it is that Ghost is definitely not a metal band, but it is a band that metalheads like, just like Alice in Chains and just like
Yeah.
a lot of other bands out there. Nickelback. All the metalheads quietly listening to Nickelback in the house and just like not telling anyone. Remove the scrobbling on Last FM so that nobody knows.
Oh my god, we sound so old school. Last FM.
Or whatever the fuck they're using now. I don't know. Spotify. Don't listen to it on Spotify. Buy it quietly on iTunes and then delete history. So yeah, at least so my verdict is Ghost is not a metal band, but definitely a band that metalheads enjoy.
What
Ghost
do you
is not a metal band. Definitely a band that more than metalheads enjoy.
But
And
of
I
course.
think I'm unanimously
Plus
joining
one.
you, saying it isn't a metal band.
Okay, so we've done 3 bands
Yes.
so far.
And there you
We've
have
done
it. Ghost is not a metal band.
Ghost is not a metal band. Alice in Chains is
It's
not a metal band.
but Babymetal
Babymetal is.
is a metal band.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's gonna get purists' panties in a bunch.
Oh
what,
yeah,
What doesn't? Just wait till you see the
We
Nickelback
had-
reaction.
we have Sahil on the show. Can you imagine?
Yeah, there's nobody more metal than Sahil.
Yeah.
You'll get 30 hits for this. Rest will be like downloading के लिए with bandwidth नहीं है. 1 घंटे का शो बहुत लंबा हो गया.
All right. So, any final thoughts, Peter? Are you slowly lining up more music or more bands at home, and then waiting to spring them on us to see whether they're metal or not?
This is a lot of fun. I mean, for the 3 of us, this is the kind of discussion we had on the RSJ and GigPad forums. You'd someone post up saying, "Oh, I heard this band, check it out," and then you'd have like 3 pages of people kind of commenting. Now we've just taken that discussion.
I feel you're
offline.
being a little too kind. I think this is a very civil and well thought out discussion. It's very unlike RSJ or GigPad. Our reaction there would be fuck you, Babymetal is not metal. Fuck you, Alice in Chains is metal, and fuck you, Ghost is metal. That would be the reaction there.
And
10 out,
and,
10 out, 10
and
out.
the vice versa, just following, and it would just it would digress into your mama fights.
And memes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Memes before we knew them as memes.
GigPad didn't have memes. Memes came a little later. buddy.
RSJ, the new RSJ did.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
New RSJ was 2007-8.
I know, yeah.
GigPad was 99.
Yeah.
So no memes in those
E-music
days.
post.
E-music.
Yeah.
Oh.
In fact, that time it was photoshopping people's
Correct.
heads on other shit.
Heads on other shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. The demonic forums.
No
Fuck, I
caption.
remember
Here's a
that.
naked
Oh,
lady
yeah.
with your head on it.
Anyway, so that's been a fruitful discussion. Thank you, Sahil, for letting us into your lovely studios.
Thank you for having me on the show. It's been a pleasure to be here.
All right. So on that note, Peter, I
Yeah.
think it's a wrap.
Yeah, that's a wrap.
So Sahil, where can people find you? On Twitter, Instagram, do you want to plug yourself?
No, not really. Actually, if you like my music, you can use Google and find me. I actually, fuck it. I'm not giving my social media out now.
Just like we found his address
Yes.
this morning.
Okay. So Sahil is wherever he is. You can find him. It's pretty easy to find. Peter, you're at
Trend Crusher.
I'm at Asmani. You can find Honsub at HonsubPod on Twitter. Listen to us wherever you're listening to your podcasts. Thank you so much. With that, it's a horns up.
Hands up, guys.
Horns up. Cheers and stay demonic.